So we're on pre-show. Diane is up. Thank you for Diane. She called this morning and we did a real quick test run on Blab to get her up. Actually, it was on a different machine. So that looks like somebody who would be in accounting in that office. That looks familiar with the doors. I had those exact same doors on my last office. I had my design build construction. I love those doors, those panel doors.
Yeah, it makes a nice door for a conference room because I have privacy, but yet my staff knows if there's, if something was to go bad or whatever, they would know.
I had 9 of those doors in my office. I loved it. It was an older building I completely rehabbed. I had design build construction for about 9 years and loved that rehab in that building. It was the tile. And my son did half the work. Go ahead.
We rehabbed this building. It was a 1924 building.
Yeah.
And totally gutted it and it looks beautiful now.
Mm-hmm. I love to do things like that. Take old buildings and make them nice again, especially the walls. Some of them are real plaster and they have the best feel.
Yeah, this one was brick, but the mortar was crumbling really bad. So we went ahead and covered it up.
Yeah.
Instead of fighting with the brick for the next however many years. Some
of the real plaster with lath. They used to put lath on and plaster. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful construction.
I had a lot of that in here too.
You have to go back and maybe do some foam. Now you're up by Coeur d'Alene, right?
I am.
Yeah. What's the name of the town you're in?
Rathdrum.
North of Coeur d'Alene. I've been up to Coeur d'Alene for training. It's beautiful country.
Yeah, I'm so blessed to get to live here.
Yeah. How long have you lived there?
20 years.
Okay. Where are you from originally?
Just over the hill in what we call the Silver Valley, which is the Kellogg area. But then I went to California to go to college and got stuck down there for 17 years and have been home for 20.
So where were you raised? Was it Idaho or Washington?
Idaho.
I don't know where Kellogg is.
A little small mining town.
I know where Coeur d'Alene is, and I've flown over the areas. My family originally comes from Great Falls, Montana, from my dad's side.
Okay. Yeah, my husband's from Anaconda, Montana. So over by Butte.
Yeah, I know where Anaconda is, of course.
Yeah.
Butte. Yeah, and Bozeman, my uncle is the professor of art at Bozeman.
Bozeman's so pretty.
Yeah, it was nice. So as a kid, I went my summers up in Montana. Okay, let me just look at something. I've got all your form here. Thank you for doing everything. You did everything very nicely.
Well, thank you.
That. And you've been in accounting for 20 years. You've written books.
I've had this business for 20 years. I had another business in California, another accounting practice for 13.
Where in California did you live?
I was in a little town called Hollister, which was 50 miles south of San Jose.
I was stationed at Moffett Field, so I spent a lot of time in San Jose, that area.
Yeah.
A lot of time. Yeah. I know Hollister. They had the big earthquake there, the Hollister earthquake.
Yeah, that's just about leveled our town. Over half the buildings. Yeah, I was. Over half the buildings went down and just about put me out of business because there was no cash flowing after that. It was a scary time.
What year was that?
89.
Was that 89?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. World Series, 89.
I remember the World Series. Yeah, the World Series, parts of the stadium fell down.
Yep. Yeah, it was so scary.
Yeah, you're in Hollister. You're at ground zero for an earthquake. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I was so happy to leave that area and come home.
That's good. Well, that's a good start. So we're going to start the show. It's really easy. 3 parts, about 25 minutes of recorded time. I have a little clock here, sort of keeps me in balance. We'll take 2 little breaks. We can talk on the break if we need to, as long as I start my clock again. And we're ready to go. And thank you for doing this. People will come on and watch. We've had 14 come through. So this is mostly for a podcast. It's also recorded on YouTube and turned into a blab. I've already done your show notes. I just have to tweak them out a little bit. Now, for your introduction, I'm going to go ahead and read the intro, but I'll probably go and clean it up or redo it post-production.
Okay.
So this is episode 196, timelines. So I have to remember episode 1. I should write this down so I don't have to remember it, even the simple script. Welcome to Timelines, episode 190. I'm your host, Bill Conrad, and welcome to Timelines. This is episode 196. It is February 3, 2016. It is Wednesday, February 3. Well, I'll try to do it. I should write this out, but I'm not. Here we go. I can always do it post-production. I probably will go back. I can go clean it up. We're going to do some little pauses in here too.
Okay.
Okay, taking a quick break. So we're coming back. I want to ask you for the, just ask real fast. We're going to do some silence about, I'll ask you, let's see. What are some things we can do right now to help with our tax planning immediately for the average listener? And then we'll go into your life and success principles. Let me put my glasses on. I wrote those out already. So those are always be learning, knowledge is wisdom, take responsibility, and set smart goals. So do you have a podcast by any chance? You write books too.
I don't. I just get interviewed everywhere I possibly can.
I've actually heard that getting interviewed, you get more connectivity than actually having a podcast. I've talked to enough people. And I'm a West Point grad. Some are West Pointers actually there now.
Yeah, and I've done it just because I figured, who wants to listen to a podcast on tax planning? After a while, they would kind of unplug. So I've just managed to get interviewed on everybody else's podcasts.
Well, I'm going to come back off the break and mention that you're the first accountant out of, we're 196. And I've actually tried to find an accountant. I've actually asked my accountant to interview. And you're the first person to come on. So I want to thank you. And down the road, as I grow and become more successful, I'm looking someone to do like John Lee Dumas is doing. That's why I asked about that John Lee Dumas issue.
Right. And I've heard a few of his podcasts. I've listened to him being interviewed a few times, but I don't actively follow his just because of lack of time.
Listen to his once a month income reports with accountant.
Okay.
Have you ever heard one?
No, I haven't.
Really listen to it. Listen to that and stay in contact with me.
Okay.
So he brings his accountant on. He does an income report of what he's made and what he hasn't made. I've looked at his books. He shows his books. It's very simple. I mean, compared to my stuff, it's simple. His expenses, he just has simple expenses, and it's just so much simpler than mine. I've got all this from depreciation to write-offs, you name it's out there. So ready to come back? Here we go. Hey, Jonathan, I see you're up there. I need to touch bases today about tomorrow's show, what we want to do ahead of time, either a call or something. I think it would be good just if you and I go on tomorrow, unless we have a guest, and we talk about design. I've done a little bit of research on design. I'm trying something. I'm doing an eclectic timelines. We do 7 shows, 6 shows at 9 o'clock, and 1 show on Sunday night called Meet the Voter. And they all have different audiences, but I blend them on the same RSS feed. So it's going to be interesting to see how that evolves over a period of time for a podcast. So Diane, and Jonathan's up there. He's going to be on tomorrow.
Okay.
So here we go. Back on to the show. So we're recording right now. I'm going to go back.
Okay.
Okay, Diane, we're coming on off the break, and we're actually recording this time. I do this more than I can believe. It's one of my fallacies. So I just lost that 5 or 6 minutes we just had of excellent conversation. So we're going to go back and recreate it. We're going to talk first about some tax tips you can give the listener right now to preparing for this tax season and for next tax season, what they can do. So go ahead and give us those.
Okay, first of all, I would say making sure that they've recorded all of their meals, their entertainment, your mileage. Do you have your written mileage log? Make sure that's caught up, it's current, so that your accountant can either take standard mileage deduction or actual costs if that's what you're using. Home office deduction. Make sure that you're not missing out on that one if you are a business who's actually running from home. Just so many things, but get your records all together, get them organized so that when you hand it off to your tax preparer, your accountant, you're giving them accurate data to work with as opposed to just a hodgepodge of mess, because most of us are so pushed and so busy this time of year that it's really hard to stop and take the time to summarize things and actually do that thorough, wonderful job that we like to do for our clients. And then, some tips moving forward is making sure that you hook up with somebody who's a certified tax planner, or like myself, who can help you minimize your tax liability for next year. It's a little bit too late for 2015, but we can get started definitely on 2016 and start planning your way to a lower tax liability.
About the only thing left, I think, is like the IRA. You can still put the money into your IRA, I believe.
You can still put money in your IRA. You can still contribute to a SEP, some things like that. So we have a few of those last minute little things that can be done after we kind of know what the taxable income number is going to be. Now,
do you go into detail about the SEP?
I do in my books. They have a little bit more information.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm curious. That's one area that I haven't gandered into. I've had some other situations and other planning purposes. So very, very good. That's nice. So going on, we're going to talk about your life and success principles. And the first is always be learning. Knowledge is wisdom. So explain what does that mean to you?
To me, that means that I have my nose in a book all the time, or I'm constantly watching continuing education webinars, whether they're accounting related, marketing related, just general business related. It doesn't matter. I watch them all. or I'm listening to a podcast. I'm just constantly trying to surround myself with other positive people, other people who kind of have it figured out, because I can learn so much from them compared to if I have to reinvent the wheel myself. So that is one of my big goals or whatever in life, is to constantly be learning and don't ever stop.
Now, your social media looks very good, and you said you have a virtual assistant who helps you, correct?
I do.
So how did you find that virtual assistant, and tell us a little bit more about how you use outsourcing?
I found her through a mastermind group that I belong to. We are both members of that group and really liked what she was talking about. Her specialty is social media, and I am social media challenged. And so she took my feeble attempts of what I was trying to do on social media, and she has turned it into a very nice looking social media presence for me. And I owe so much to her and really appreciate her expertise in the whole social media area, because that is not a strong point for me. I tend to be kind of that little bit more of an introvert type. I love to hide behind my desk and only do that kind of work for people. But she helps me get out there and look like I'm, approachable and friendly and, willing to just meet with anybody and everybody, which I really am. I just have a hard time promoting myself.
I've been trying to get an accountant on for a long time. I'm on episode 196, and you're the first accountant to come on. So congratulations. And a little later on, I want to talk to you about some possibilities. So
okay.
Very good. Very good. Because I think accountants have a tendency, by the way, to hide behind their desk.
We do. Yes, I admit it. We do. It's so much easier.
The other thing, do you have the same problem I have? And this drives me nuts. I'm a design build engineer, went off and did some different things, and then came back and started this new business, this online business. And I thought, hey, I've mastered AutoCAD, designing, engineering, working a lot of computer systems, networks. I'll tell you what, the online business world is a tough one in this cloud. It's changing so fast. And what I find is there's so much to learn. And when I do learn something, sometimes I forget. Do you ever forget after you learn something? Or
Yeah, I do. and the online part of it, especially, I really rely on my virtual assistant and her team, because I too have an online product that's out there, which is my practice management solutions for accountants. And I had no idea how hard it would be to launch that thing. Nobody told you. They all said, oh yeah, just launch that out there. Yeah. It was the scariest, hardest thing I've ever done. And without her expertise, I could not have done it myself. Very good.
And Jonathan is listening right now. And the one thing that I'm always trying to master is Infusionsoft. And I swear to God, I get on Infusionsoft, I study it, I do something, and I forget how to do something. It's got to be the most difficult platform I've ever tried to master. So Jonathan, you can undo your ears now.
We refer to it as Confusionsoft because I tried it in my office and we gave up on it and went to something easier to use.
Their system, they've got a great system. They charge you a small fortune to get into it. Then they make you go through their training, which they could improve on. And so you've got so much invested. So I've got to make this work. And it's very expensive each month. So what do you use, if you don't mind?
We moved into a very small little program for accountants called TPS. And it only does a very small fraction of what Infusionsoft can do. But my team, my staff was able to figure it out and handle it and got it up and running fairly quickly. And that's what we needed more so than the bigger program.
My recommendation now is if after you have 5,000 or 10,000 people on your list, you have $7,000 to invest into the Infusionsoft training, that you go out and don't hire Infusionsoft, the company, but hire a independent contractor who specializes in Infusionsoft, because there's some really good partners out there who probably are much better than what they do. I think they hire kids and then they train up and then they leave. And that's the Infusionsoft training. So there was a lack of relatability. So that's my advice. And if I had to do it again, I would very much hold off on Infusionsoft. I've actually spent so much time now. I feel like, man, I got to make it work. It's that never quit attitude, I guess. So going on, the number 2 is take responsibility for yourself. Sounds like a true somebody from Idaho. Take individual responsibility.
You bet. I am not a fan of the entitlement mentality. If I mess up, hey, I have to own up to it, especially in the world of public accounting where I'm working with clients all the time. And if more people took responsibility for themselves, I think our world would be in a much better shape, because we wouldn't have everybody blaming each other.
Right. People do make mistakes, and we do have hard times. I was in the design, build, construction industry, and I'd say a lot of my friends who are builders, developers went under and went bankrupt. But I hope they took responsibility for their actions, and the hard times hit them. But the good ones took responsibility and came back and worked hard and understood things went wrong. I got lucky. I was activated in 9/11, so my design, build, construction had to downsize, and I never brought it back to the size it was. And I was reactivated in 2007. So I missed the worst of the industry's disasters.
Yeah, that was a tough group of years there.
Yeah, I survived, but it's sort of luck too, I think. And I also thought we were overheated at the time, and I was pulling back as it was and didn't start any major projects. I built 2 subdivisions in my life. And if I were to start a subdivision in 2006, I would be under. So very good. And then secondly, is set smart goals.
That one I can't stress enough, because if you're not setting goals in your business, you don't know what you're aiming at. And for myself, I try to set 3 or 4 good-sized goals for every year, and then I break them down into quarterly goals. So I have my annual, then I have my quarterly goals of what it's going to take to hit those annual goals. And then sometimes I have to break those quarterly goals down into monthly or even weekly tasks to allow me to hit those goals. I'm a true accountant here. I got to check off my little list. So, but that works in my world, and it helps me to be able to accomplish what I need to accomplish, and it breaks it down so it's not such a huge factor. Example was, I just finished writing another book last week, and I had about a month to get it written, and so I had to set the goal. I had to write 1 chapter a night for about 2 weeks, and then go back in and start some editing and things like that. But if I just sat there, the fact that I needed a book, and I was already working, terribly long hours, how was I going to make that happen? So by breaking it down into smaller pieces, then that allowed me to get that done. Yep. And we got the next info product recorded, and we're off and running again.
For the listener out there, the SMART goal is really interesting. I've had people talk about goal setting on the program, some PhDs, things of that nature. But the SMART goal is like a tasker, and it stands for specific. The S is specific. 2 is M is measurable. The A is achievable. The R is results focused, and the final is time bound. That means you set a time. That's a SMART goal. I love to do some shows on just the SMART goal process. That said, I think there's actually things bigger than goals, like when someone runs for office or something very high that you don't know if you're going to attain it or not. So the SMART goal is something you break down, but I'm sure that the big, huge goals that you don't know if you're going to make or not are different. Do you have any of those? Any things that you don't know, that they're not SMART goals, but they're things that you want to try to do, but you're not sure how to get there, or even if you're going to achieve it?
Well, I'd say one of those big, kind of more vague type goals is my husband and I would like to retire in the next 5 to 7 years, which would be before the age 65, quite a bit before that. And we're working towards it, but I don't have that one laid out like I do my other regular SMART goals, because there's a lot of other factors that come into play with that.
Well, so if you retire, what are you going to do?
Do something fun, which will I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet, because that's almost scary to me, because I love what I do. So I don't know.
Yeah, I can't imagine ever wanting to retire. There's so much to do out there. I guess I'd like to have more money so I could do more things, but I still like running a business. I guess and you're a serial entrepreneur. I don't see how you can ever stop wanting to be an entrepreneur. Yeah.
When he talks about retiring, I think in my mind, I think about being able to cut my schedule down to maybe I only have to work 3 or 4 days a week. Yeah. But I still get to do tax planning with people. I'm still helping, the business owners and stuff. I can't see myself walking away from all this and just doing nothing. I would shrivel up and die.
So one last question here about what is your husband doing now?
My husband works for Costco. So okay. he stocks in the produce department. So,
my wife has clients who work for Costco who are amazingly wealthy for what's worth. Mm-hmm. They both work for Costco, and they've bought houses over a period of time. And they are if I had to write a book about how to do it, how to have a job and make millions and buy real estate, they would be the example. Yeah, Costco's a very good company.
Yeah, we tend to do a little bit of that ourselves. We dabble in picking up homes at distressed prices, and then he likes to go in and remodel them, and then we turn them into a rental. Yeah,
that's a very good combination. And keep it and don't sell it. That's the other lesson is try not to flip properties. Try to buy, withhold, and you work less that way, and you accumulate more money over a period of time. I got to write a book sometime on that, because I did pretty well when I was young, and then I got off of that track, and I see that was the track to stay on. Mm-hmm. So with that, we're going to go to a break. We're going to come back after the break. We're going to ask you about how the listener can contact you, a commercial, then one last question. Well, Diane, we're coming back off our break, and thank you very much for reminding me to hit record. So we're going to ask you, how can the listener find you and get a hold of you, other than driving up just north of Coeur d'Alene and knocking on your door?
Yeah, for those who don't want to drive, they can go out to www.taxcoachforyou.com, and that's using the number 4. And I've got lots of free resources. They can order a free copy of one of my books. It's called The 10 Most Expensive Mistakes That Cost Business Owners Thousands. And in there, we kind of highlight the 10 most commonly missed tax deductions that people aren't thinking about, or tax strategies. So nice free book that they can get. And I'm love to get emails from people. They can contact me, ask me a tax question, or chat for a little bit. I'd love to get on the phone and just talk with people, because I'm passionate about making sure that business owners are not overpaying their taxes, because most all of them are. And that's a sad thing to find out, that they're overpaying just because they don't realize that they can take advantage of perfectly legal, IRS approved, court tested strategies.
I'm going to follow up on a question here. Where are your clients geographically based or living?
They are all across the U.S. I work nationwide. Obviously, I have the majority of them here in Idaho, but I've got clients scattered now all across the U.S. because they've heard me on a podcast interview, or they've picked up a copy of one of my books, or that type of thing. And so it allows me to be a lot more flexible and help people. And if I get into a state that I'm not real familiar with something going on with the state, I have a network of other certified tax coaches, and I can go to my network and find somebody that lives and works within that particular state and collaborate with them on whatever I'm working on. And so it kind of gives me this nice team to be able to do a great job for people in all 50 states.
We have real estate brokerages, both California and Nevada, and the laws are different in every state. And outside the state, we go up to what we call CRS, certified agents, like my wife is. It's a very extensive certification, much, much more than just a real estate broker or agent. And we always use a specialist in that state. Are you still current with California laws and taxes?
I try to stay as current as I can, so probably not as current as somebody who lives there, but I do my best to stay current on California.
I still have to file in California taxes.
Yeah, I have quite a few people that have moved to Idaho from California, so we do several California tax returns every year. So it kind of forces me to pull out the California book and see where are they following the IRS, and where are they doing their own thing.
Okay. For the one last question, and after we finish up this one last question, that'll be the end of the iTunes recording, but we'd like folks to stay on for YouTube, and we'll open it up for them to come on and discuss any tax issues or ask you questions about business. So the one last question is, and you know what? You had to help me create this question, because I would have never thought of this. What is the difference between tax preparation, tax projection, and tax planning?
And I'm going to say this is my most favorite question, which is why I helped you create it.
Too many P's.
Lots of P's, you bet. And it's such a confusing area for most people. A lot of my small business clients, when I first meet up with them, think that just because their tax preparer did a tax return for them, that they really were doing tax planning for them. And they're two completely different worlds. And I'm going to say tax preparation is putting the right numbers on the right forms and getting it filed on time. And that is tax preparation engagement. And then the next step up that little ladder is going to be tax projections. And that's where accountants usually will sit down with their clients a couple times during the year. We'll forecast out where we think their profits are going to be, what their sales, their various expenses are going to be, and come up with some sort of an estimated net profit so that we can look at how much they need to put into their retirement plan, or maybe they need to buy a piece of equipment, or they're looking at, some sort of an expense that we need to be, do we have sufficient income to cover it? So that's a tax projection. Then the last one, the highest step up that ladder, is proactive tax planning. And that is where I love to work, because through proactive tax planning, I can change your future. The other things tend to change your history. But when we change your future, we can plan your tax liability to be a lower tax liability. And the strategies that we use are IRS approved, court tested, and they allow you to have tax savings year after year after year. And you don't have to run out and do the Hail Mary, buy a piece of equipment on December 31st. Because we've already set you up where you've got a retirement plan, and we're contributing to it throughout the year. Or we've changed their business entity type so that now they're saving a bunch of self-employment tax. So it's just nice, solid strategies, but people aren't aware of them because they don't know that they don't know. So tax planning is the cream where I like to see business owners operating and being fully in charge of where that tax liability is going to be for upcoming years.
Yeah. And we didn't get into this, but you actually recommended a book too. And I want to put that book out, 3 Feet from Gold.
Oh, that book really, really helped me at a time in my career when I was ready to hang it up and walk away. So it's a very inspirational book, and a book that is life-changing, I would say.
Is it an older book?
It is. It's been out for quite a while.
Yep. Built off some of Napoleon Hill's principles and was written by others, but it's a very old book. Yes. Very good. 3 Feet from Gold. And in closing, you can find all of Diane's notes and information and links over at timelinesofsuccess.com or timelinenetworks.com. Timelines of Success. That's a long one. That's one of my early websites, and this is one of my very first podcasts, and it's been continuous. So in future, I'd have a shorter name. So maybe I need to make a shorter name and point it there. Well, Diane, thank you very much for coming on. Please stay on to answer some questions. We have a question from Craig, and on the other side on YouTube. For the listener out there on the podcast, if they want to go and listen to the YouTube, go to about the 30, 35-minute mark, and you should be able to find the answer to this question. The question that Craig is asking is there a way to post a clickable link to Diane's website? Well, there is. And go over to Timelines of Success. So I guess I just answered that question, but we'll go into more detail about how we do that on the other side. And Diane, stay on for a few minutes so you can answer some questions. We can bring some folks up from Blab. Thank you, Diane.
All right. Thank you.
So we're up right now, coming back off the break, and there's Craig. You did it. And so we're just helping Craig come up. He's come up for the first time. Hey. Typically backlit, but you look good. You sound good. Go ahead, Craig. Talk. Craig. I know you're there. I just heard you.
Well, I can see myself.
You're good. No, can you see us? Just talk. Your sound is great, Craig. It's amazing. I can tweak that out for you. I don't think you can hear us very well. Craig, I don't think you can hear us right now. So we'll fix that, though. That's easy fix. So what I want you to do, Craig, you can't hear me, but you go up here to the little camera. I'm going to actually shut him off and bring him back on because he can't hear. If you can hear, nod your head. No, he can't hear. But we can hear him. So all he has to do, folks, for the listener out there, is go across from the command bar and just go over to the camera and check your microphone. It's going to say what microphone you're using, and you want to probably, if you're on a laptop, use the laptop default microphone. And then the camera will be your laptop microphone. So you have to set that once and then recycle on Chrome. So I can help him out on that later. So we're going to shut him down right now. I'm going to give him a few props, though, so he knows we're here. So we gave him, those are props. By the way, those are props down below. There you go, okay. So I just shut him off. He'll come back in, and he should actually work. So what I was going to talk about was John Lee Dumas. How did you stumble into John Lee Dumas, and what do you think about him?
I heard an interview with him and Jim Palmer.
Oh, I know Jim Palmer. I know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm part of Jim's mastermind group, so I usually listen to his interviews.
Well, I see myself again. Hold
a second. We can hear you. I will. What I'll do after the show, Craig, after the show, I can help you. I'll give you a call and help you come back up on it. So, Craig, you need to set a speaker. I'll help you. This is good. One person at a time, especially in Northern Nevada. I'm so frustrated in Northern Nevada that people haven't grasped on this technology better. Especially with politics. This is a great, can you imagine being a city councilman in a community or town and coming up once a week and answering questions from your community like this? So I'm going to shut him back down. I'll help him at this show. But I think it's a great platform. So sorry about that. John Lee Dumas, tell us about John.
So anyhow, I heard an interview with him and Jim Palmer, and I went, wow, this guy is on fire, as he calls it, entrepreneur on fire. And I listened to a few of his episodes and have been very impressed with those that I've listened to. And he seems to really be making a difference out there.
Yeah, I would recommend that you listen to his once a month audit for the bookkeeping and accounting, because I am looking for somebody to start doing a similar thing once a month, is go up and give some tips on bookkeeping or accounting, and also sort of go through the struggles and tribulations that I've gone through in creating an online business and how difficult it really is. It's much, much more difficult than you can possibly fathom. It just takes a lot of hard work, focus, and knowing how to hire the right people.
And I would say a big knowing how to hire the right people.
So let's talk about Jim Palmer afterward, because this is very interesting, because I know his daughter. And I've actually interviewed Jim Palmer. If you go to Timelines of Success and you put Palmer on the search side, Palmer, Palmer, he comes up as episode 54, which is a long time ago, August 27th, 2014. It was posted. And that's when I used to pre-record him. And I remember he had a crappy mic. His sound wasn't that good. Great guy, but he wasn't quite into the quality of podcasts yet. But I'm sure he's improved by now. His daughter's definitely improved. And yeah, so what you have you gone to one of his mastermind meetings and groups back in Philadelphia? I did
do one in Philadelphia, and I've done one in San Diego, and I'll be at the upcoming one in San Diego.
So what are they like? How did you choose Jim, and how did you find Jim?
I found Jim through a group of accountants that we had met to talk about marketing, because we were all struggling with our marketing, because as accountants, we don't do that very well generally. And his name came up for his newsletters. And I was wanting to do something like that, but didn't know how to start it. So I found out about him and kind of watched him for a little while, picked up a few of his books, and then bought into his newsletter program. Yeah, and then that led to his mastermind group and his coaching.
And how long have you been in the coaching and group?
Oh, probably close to 3 years now.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And you're doing good. You look very solid. All your social media looks good. Now, his daughter probably got you into podcasts, I'm taking it. Jessica helped. I wanted to get interviewed on podcasts. Here again, I didn't know how to do it. So in my world, if I don't know how to do it, I got to hire somebody who can do it, because I don't have time to figure it out. So hopped on with Jessica, and she started booking me on shows. Yeah, I really like Jessica. She's been on my show a few times. I've met her at some of the podcast meetups. She's super nice and very, very good business person. And she's now one of my clients clear across the country. Oh, really? I can understand that. Yeah. That makes sense. You pick up from your mastermind, you'll pick up people too. What I was doing, let's see. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I want to put in, you can help me. I'm going to ask all the folks, since you're new, do you have a iTunes account? I don't know if I do or not. If I do, my virtual assistant set it up. If you're going to get on podcast, you have an iPhone? I do have an iPhone. Okay, this is too simple. We're going to talk about this real fast. So all you do on your iPhone, you don't have to do it now, but you go in here, go into apps, and you go and first of all, you don't have to do anything. You already have the app on your phone. It looks like this right here. It's not going to be down here. It'll probably be up here. It's got little circles with that iPhone right there. So you go on there, and it'll set up automatically pretty much. And you just type in Bill Conrad, and then look for, I have 3 different podcasts. Look for Timelines. Hit Timelines, and your episode will be up tonight, and you can listen to it on a smartphone. Much better to listen to iTunes. We already listen to podcasts, right? I do, and I tend to do them on my laptop, because when I go home at night, I have no cell service because I live in the mountains and there's too many trees. So if I'm going to do it, I do it on my laptop where I can pick up internet through the house. I could not be. I love Coeur d'Alene, but I could not be where I do not have internet. I live at 5,000 feet on the side of the hill in the Sierras, and I have to have the internet. So
yeah, we have internet.
Sorry to hear that.
I have internet, but not cell service.
Okay, you have internet. So in your house, if you have internet, it'll still work very, very well. In fact, I have all my podcasts downloaded on the internet, and then they're there on RSS feeds. So you could download them in your office. You don't need, in fact, turn off your using your streaming internet, your phone service, and just use the this, because you hit it here and you just listen to it. That's yesterday's show, which I have to listen to the rest of it.
Okay.
So go ahead on the app, type in Bill Conrad and download it. You could do it today and listen to yesterday's show, and EO Fire, and then they'll download. You can listen while you're driving. You can actually put, if you have Bluetooth or ear set, or at home, you can just listen to them. And it's much easier, I think, to listen on a smartphone now. At night, my wife and I don't listen to radio. We actually listen to some radio shows that we like to listen to that are put up on our time schedule. So that's my evangelism right now, getting folks up. And that's a good thing to do. So if anybody out there had any tax questions, come on up. It's nice to see Deborah up, and she's a managing consultant. The other thing you can help me out with, I'm going to stick this in here right now. As long as people can speak and have good connectivity, and they really should come up ahead on Blab and introduce themselves to me so we can test out the system. That's what I'm going to do more and more of, because this is so new, is I do a daily show. And so you can imagine it's a bit of work keeping it all filled. And my schedule is pretty easy. Now, did you schedule this interview yourself, or did Jessica do it?
Jessica's probably Sue on Jessica's team.
Yep.
Yeah, set this up.
I've never had a bad interview that came through Jessica. So I appreciate her work and the folks. But you can send that link to anybody and they can schedule. It's a form. And so you didn't fill out the form, they did, or you did?
I filled out the form. She got me the initial introduction, and then I take it from there. Yeah,
you did a great job filling out the form and calling, by the way. I want to thank you for that. So there's the link to the interview link, and that's on, if you just go to timelines, it's under links, and it's the first thing under links. So I'm always looking for folks to come up from different professions and even politics. I like to hear about different politics in different parts of the country and that business in itself. So it's interesting. Let's see if there's anything. We've covered quite a bit. You got the phone down. You did really good. Oh, the one little thing is on your podcast. Have you done many of the streaming video like we're doing now, where you actually are most of them just oral where you're talking?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you're my first streaming video.
That's why I'm creating a course called netcasting101.com. In fact, that's where it is. And on netcasting, the only thing I tell people to add, really, because it's doing really well off of your computer, is just add a light. Is get a light to just have a $10 light to move around to get that front light. I'm using a $10. I got some $50 lights, but also my $10 lights doing my final adjustments on my face. And a $10 light will give you really good visuals. And I don't understand now why more podcasters aren't using all the medias. Put it all different places. The only thing I can think of is they don't want to dilute their podcast.
Could be because most of them just want to do audio only on Skype.
Yeah. I used to use Skype. Actually, Skype's a lot more work than this. Believe it or not, you have to have on my side, you have to have something called Call Recorder if you got a Mac. So it is more work here. I imagine your taxes, you're getting to the busy season, so you're going to be focusing in on taxes until April 15th. I'm going to ask you one political question. If you could rewrite the tax code, what would you do? How would you tax? We have to have taxes.
How would we tax? I would probably be in favor of something along the lines of a flat tax of some sort, because then I think you would have a little more equal distribution, as opposed to so many of the write-offs and stuff that they have that allows people to, the lower end people end up not paying any tax. In fact, they get all kinds of money back. But yet some of the middle seem to get hit so hard. So I think it would be something closer along those lines. I don't know exactly what, but something along those lines.
Well, when I had payroll for a long, long time, I had one employee for 17 years, the same employee. And we ran about 7 people at any one time, and they varied in their skill sets. But my burden, my matching taxes was huge. I paid those big checks, and some of those people never got a dime of that money back.
Right.
And they weren't rich. So I think people don't realize how much they really pay in taxes, no matter what your income level is.
No, they don't.
That's huge. It's huge. So you take every dollar you pay, it seems like there's another dollar in matching taxes. Plus in construction, we have workers' comp, which is required by the government.
It's huge. You bet.
Which is huge. You know that from doing payroll. So there's a lot of, it costs a lot to hire somebody. It seems like if I designed a system, I would design a system where it doesn't penalize me for hiring people.
You bet. Yep.
That's what one of our problems in America is. We have a tax code that penalizes people for creating employment, which amazes me. Just the thing you don't want to penalize folks for.
Right. We need to be encouraging them to hire people.
And I think too, the tax code should be simple enough and with systems and processes that we could have an online system that I could go on and do my taxes, every year, even my payroll taxes. It should, if the government's why can't the government have a real simple payroll taxes or tax system that I can do online that I can see?
Instead, they need the help of somebody like myself to get them all filed and get them done right and on time and make sure it all reconciles with what the Social Security gets. And it's huge. Yeah.
Reconciliation, all that stuff in accounting and the different agencies and folks, the IRS. IRS is taking a pounding this year too. And now you've got the new healthcare requirements too to track and fill out more paperwork.
Yep. More paperwork. Got to dig a little deeper into your life now than I used to have to.
Yeah. All the different elements, and it's hard to explain. And it's crazy out there, and it's way too much. I used to do my own taxes when I was in the military, and I had a few homes that I owned. There's no way I could do them now. There's absolutely no way that I could dig in and do all the taxes correctly. I'm not even sure my accountant, because I just let them do it. But I don't know. It's all magic. I'm losing it. It's sort of like online business, getting the online business going. So it's tough. Yeah, flat tax or some kind of simple tax would be good.
Yeah. Simplify it. It's way too complicated.
Well, I know you have to get going. And what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, is I'm going to come up with Craig a little bit. You can stay on the line. And I would like to invite you back again to come in sometime and go ahead and watch one of John Lee Dumas's accounting. It's a special he has. You can do it online and find it. And maybe come back in for a very short special recording. And we do like an end of the month thing, and we could test something. Give me one tip each month about something we can do that month to help with our taxes. So if you think about it.
Okay, I will.
Get you a light. I want to see you get a light, just a light, $10 light.
I got a note for it.
And you know what? I'm going to give you something. I'm going to give you my resource link. I get my ripping 4%. And that's what I tell everybody. If you're going to go online, at least start. If you go to timelines, it says resources, and it'll bring you over to Netcasting 101. And on there, if you go down there, and this is not the way to get rich, folks, but there are a list of items down there under netcasting and podcasting equipment. The HR 2100 is my favorite mic. Yeah, but your headset is fine. But there's a couple of little lighting kits in there. There's one as low as $20 for 2 lights. And then there's a lighting kit in there. That might be something you might want to look at. And the lighting kit will really give you some good light right here. Your backlight's fine. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Diane. You can stay on if you like, but I know you're busy. Yeah,
I'm going to have to hustle because I think my next tax appointment is probably sitting out there waiting for me.
Okay, I'm going to stay up till 10:30 and answer questions, and we'll work on some of this medias right now from different folks, and we're going to test out Blab. So, Craig, I want you to come back up and work on it. I'll call you up, and we'll get this fixed. Thanks, Diane.
Bill, just real quick, I see it, a question about somebody wanting some information on organizing their stuff. If they want to send me a message, I'd be happy to have an offline conversation with them and see if I can help them get that stuff organized.
Thank you for catching that. I should do that too. It's actually better to manage a show with 3 people, with one person looking at questions in the background and a host. By the way, I made you host, so you're going to get a copy. So if you go to that little slash and you go to question Q, and you start writing after Q and you go paste, there's little things down at the bottom with topics and stuff. And you hit that, I can actually throw that question up here. I'm about to pull all of our paperwork, which is do you have a white paper on putting do you have a white paper on putting together receipts?
I don't have a white paper, but I could potentially send them over an Excel file that I share out with some of my clients, and that might help them.
I kid you not. We are very sophisticated, and we use QuickBooks, of course, all the systems, and everything's squared away. And now, last year, we did our taxes with Excel files. We still have QuickBooks. I just don't trust QuickBooks right now. So here's the other question. I'm going to put that up, and we'll put that one up too. Let me hit that question. So
if they want to go out to my website at www.taxcoachforyou.com and just send me a message, I'll connect with them offline and ship over an Excel spreadsheet that might be a big help to them. Very,
very good. That's very good. Yeah, Excel. Well, we got that. So Julia's music teacher traveling some, and several coming up. Several come to our home. She also uses studios as a carpenter's.
I think it's continuation from the first part.
Okay, so they're very good. So those are good questions. Hey, Craig, let's get your system fixed here. So come on up again.
And I'm going to hop out, Bill, so I can go take this next appointment.
And thank you, and you're welcome back anytime. I appreciate it. We're live every day at 9:00 at Timelines of Success. So you can always find us or listen in. Sometimes I actually listen to shows while I'm working on Blab, just in my pocket on my smartphone. So it's a fun thing to do. Take care. Thanks. So Craig, let's fix your thing. I can call you right now. In fact, I'm going to do another thing too. I usually do this and didn't do it today. Diane did a great job today, folks, of coming up ahead of time and checking in with me. She called me this morning and helped her set up. We're going to fix your stuff, Craig. Phone number. Give me your phone number.
Great.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You fixed it. You already fixed it.
Oh, is it fixed?
So what did you do to fix it?
That time I just clicked call in again and it came right up.
Yeah, you're on Chrome, right?
Yes.
I appreciate you coming up. The group last night I was really impressed with. They were more open than the men's club of Reno men's club. I've done so much work for that group. So much work for them. And it's very frustrating to just, they won't even buy, they've gone from $5,000 to $10,000 in reserve, and they won't even buy $300 or $400 worth of equipment so they can live stream themselves. All they need is a laptop, a little inexpensive camera. And I'll offer to train anybody. So, I'm not going to do it for them anymore. I'll do it maybe at dinner.
So many people want to just control their own stuff,
Well, if you're in politics, the charter of that group is to educate and train people. And I got into it because I thought we could train up local politicians and assemblymen, senators, and council members to start using some of this technology. And then for them to sit scholarships and maybe, do a little, we could be doing a course down at the headquarters, a lot of different things, helping people, on a regular schedule, getting ready to run with some of this technology. But, like we talked about the party not even doing anything or letting me stream any of the big people that come into town.
Yeah, because they have all these caucus trainings several times a week.
I could make a caucus training online. In fact, why don't we do that? I want to try to do a caucus training this week with somebody. We'll do it on this, and I can either do it on probably a better platform would be Google Plus Hangout, and I can record it with charts. And when the caucus training, we'll send it out to folks. So at least people can see it. I don't know why you wouldn't want to live stream some of the caucus training so people who can't watch it could watch it live or go back and rewatch it. It just baffles me. It baffles me why the Republicans haven't even approached me. I've been out there. By the way, the local chairman runs people off.
Oh, he does? He ran you off?
Yeah, I just friggin' unbelievable. I've never seen anything quite. I'm so frustrated with
well, that's what that group last night is all about. Is trying to get, local politics friendly to actually the Republicans in this area, because every Republican that comes to that group, comes to the Central Committee, just finds it incredibly not friendly.
The job of the Central Committees are to do this simple thing, especially Republicans. There are to encourage people to run, but not to endorse anybody, but encourage people to run. Then once you get your nominee, then you fully support that nominee. But you encourage, you train, you build. They're not to set policy. They already have a framework of policy to follow. And they're encouraged to get out the vote, to build precincts, that thing, but not to go out. I don't know what they do here. It's just baffling.
It's baffling. It's baffling to me.
I think they're actually part of that oligarchy, that establishment that so many Republicans are protesting against.
They are. Yeah, that's what we see. That's what that's a growing group. Last night, it's
unbelievable. I like the men's club, but they do nothing. And they do very little. I like Ray a lot. I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Ray.
Yeah, but that's all they want to do apparently.
Yeah, just to have the luncheons, which they do a good job, and they keep the cost down. But they've raised a lot of money. They've gone from 5 to 10. They give some money away to some pretty good causes. But their charter is education and training. And here they've had me, and I'm going to try to train up a couple of people in the group so they continue to live stream. They've got a pretty good channel too. I've set up a little channel on YouTube. Almost everything is free too. All this platform is free. So it was really refreshing to see. That was pretty good. I got more response last night than I've got from any of the men's club groups.
Well, I think that group last night would love to hook up with you and just really promote that group.
You could train people too. I love to train them. And a lot of people just don't see, like you're doing it today. You're jumping very fast. By the way, my $10 light would do you wonders, on your face right now, just a little front light.
Yeah.
Because you're back. You'll see the video afterward.
I'm going to have to go on your website. Do you sell that light on your website?
Yeah, I get my ripping 4%. Any light will work. You can buy a little light with a clear bulb. But there's different lights out there. There's a lighting kit, and then there's 2 of these really high lights. And what you have to do is you have to bounce them off of stuff because they're so strong, or put a filter. You put them down on white paper and you move it around. To see how strong that light is. That's a $10 light. And you bounce it down like that, and you move it around until you find. That's one of the easiest ways. Or just take a light. If you can find a light, even just a desk light, and put it in front of you, it improves.
What if I open my blinds here? If I get
natural light is usually the best. On this other line,
because that outside light kind of bounces off the whole room here.
It's really weird. I had 100 people through. I had 100 people through yesterday, and it really means I had 100 people through yesterday on the blab, and the title has a lot to do with it. I'm going to do another little trick here. I'm going to go up on blab. I'm going to go ahead. I meant to do this before I even come on. Hit this. Go on the air. Now I'm going to get a little back feed. I'm back to recording again. So we're back recording. We're working with Craig, and we changed the topic. New topic is how do you build an online business with Blab? And it's actually tough. So what are the best CRMs? I'm going to change the topic one more time because this is working. What CRM do you like? You know what CRM is?
I'm trying to rack my brain. I know I've seen that so many times. CRM.
Like MailChimp's a CRM. Is a type of mail.
What is it? What does it stand for? Constant something? Or
so, like for example, a CRM is Infusionsoft. CRM is Infusionsoft is a CRM that I use. Very expensive, very difficult to master.
What about Aweber? I know we use Aweber.
Yeah, Aweber is the way you're doing. Stay with Aweber until you get 5,000. It's Customer Relationship Management System, CRM.
Oh,
and that's what a CRM is. I'll drop on the definition down here.
Constant what?
It's called Customer Relationship Management. And it's often hooked in CRM and mail service. Aweber is a mail service, but it's got a little CRM in it. What is how do you like Aweber?
I like it. I mean, I don't know how to use it, but
it takes time. Just practice. Just play with it.
Yeah.
It is a lot. It's Aweber is an autoresponder email marketing for business. Not quite a CRM, but it's very, very close. And it's where you start to build your list. Mm-hmm. So CRM is here. Well, these are some of the tools. So you're already doing some of the right things. How did you get into Aweber? That's definitely the best tool.
Oh, my wife, like I said, my wife, when I was working and making a lot of money, and the kids started all getting into school, Julie got onto online marketing and created a website called Expenses to Income, a WordPress site. Mm-hmm. And then from there, she got into a couple of seminars. We went to some seminars with different, social marketing, online marketing people. And she developed several businesses, but she never promoted them online. She was too scared to promote them. So she's got about, maybe 9 different WordPress sites. And she did all the stuff, hooking up to AWeber, getting all that stuff together, which I wasn't a part of it because I was working, like 16 hours a day. And so she had plenty of money to do all the seminars on it, but she never made any money. So finally she just gave it all up and went back to teaching music and voice.
I agree. It's tough. I think you have to blend them with something, and it's called a side hustle. I don't think you should give up, but you should do it on the side with another business. I might have to go and work someplace next year. I made tremendous money. The problem is I can't do what I used to do. My security clearance just dropped off, my TS, and I was a GS 15, which is as high as you can go in the civil servant ranks at that level. Yeah. I made as much as the vice president of the United States, but I was overseas most of the time. I was capped at the vice president's feet. So, that's great money. And I meant to do it another year, but we walked away. When we left Modesto, we walked away with at least $100,000 worth of commission from Karen. And our home over there is very nice, a very low rate, but I'm still negative on my home that's over there, my cash flow.
Commissions on what?
Pardon me?
You said in commissions?
In commissions, yeah. He's a real estate broker. I built 2 subdivisions. We own a company. We had a real estate company over there. We still do. It's a lot smaller now. She still does some work. And she's got 25 years. Let me put up her site. It's Karen Conrad. I'm going to drop it in. So here's something I'm experimenting. Here's her blog site I experiment with. If you notice, this is kind of fun. Look at her blog site because I dropped in. I don't know how that went to her site. I wonder if is that today's?
Is it the wrong site?
No, it's old. It's
Karen Conrad Real Estate.
Yeah, open that up. And you'll see on the right side. That's her blog. And,
awesome.
And she's starting over here, but it's an amazing thing. You click that. Click the. Don't click more information. You can do that too, but just click the picture of the house in the front. See what happens.
Okay.
Just click it. See what happens. See how that opened up that flyer? We kick tail on all the real estate agents, but it's like very difficult to get reestablished again in real estate here. We had our own real estate company for a while. She didn't want to spend the money to build the office, and I wanted to recruit agents and teach them some of this technology. But she decided to go with Chase, and she's doing okay. She's starting to get some listings now. She got a listing and she got a transaction, but the transaction came from somebody I met that I interviewed on a show here. So I'm trying to get her, like she was there last night. I'm trying to get her out to take her laptop and that little mic. And I'm trying to interview more people around Reno in their offices. So she gets to meet them instead of me. I don't go out very much. So I meant to join the group last night, by the way. The other thing too, I'll tell you a secret I'm working on right now, and I'm thinking about doing it. I maybe know better, maybe don't know better, but I'm thinking about running for United States Senate. But
fantastic,
I'm so frustrated at the Republicans here. They've already chosen they've already anointed one person. And I just don't like that. I don't like when they go out and anoint.
Yeah, join us and then try to help us fix this Washoe County party.
Yeah, they anoint.
It blows my mind.
It's not about democracy when you anoint people like that, especially among a party. The party has ideas and philosophy of small government, lower taxes, and freedom and liberty. And a lot of my Democrat friends, I'm trying to convince. We do a show that Politics of Success. Not that, but Meet the Voter, meetthevoter.com. That show is all about, I have both right and left there, but I try to make sure people understand that who are supporting Bernie Sanders and the socialists, that if you want government to do everything for you, they have the power to do it by force. The free market doesn't have the power of force. And they will. And you get bad people in power. You set up a country that's socialist and you get bad people at the top, a nut and on the top. He could take away your life and liberty.
Well, you know it from the military, and I know it from law enforcement, that if you have a bad commander, they're gonna make you do bad things that get people killed.
I feel bad about the prisoners when you have a bad warden.
It's bad. It's worse for the cops. The prisoner's going to kill themselves anyway.
Yeah, it's bad.
But those guys, those captains on those yards will make decisions, and the officers are going,
put their life at risk.
We're going to have a riot. There's going to be a riot. There's no question. There's going to be a riot on the yard.
I would not want to do what you did. I know the story. It's unbelievable. Yeah,
and I'm sure you did the same thing in the military. What? Why? They're going to do what? They're going to send us where?
I got out. I was in 160th and doing well, Ranger Special Forces, flying special operations. And my commander was court-martialed by the system, and it was all politics. And he shouldn't have been court-martialed. He's tougher than nails, really tough. He got some people complaining, but he kept people alive. And I went back to his court martial and Air Force uniform. So that was my first experience with big, the Army is a big government in itself.
It is.
So going back to I just said, what CRM do you like?
The country.
So we just talked about what CRM do I like and how can you make money with Blab and a CRM? CRM is contact management. You're using Aweber. I would definitely stick with Aweber for a while.
I will, because I just
drive.
I'm learning.
Jonathan's up here too. He knows Pipe Drive. I'm going to look at it right now. I've never heard of Pipe Drive. Jonathan, you heard of Pipe Drive? I know you're up there.
I've heard of it.
Let's look it up. And if you want to come up and tell us about Pipe Drive, I just Googled it. Oh, Pipe Drive, CRM. I use Infusionsoft right now. Another thing I see happening right now is technology, the cost of CRM should come down. I'm big into studying right now how to do online training, learning management systems. And every day now, a new LMS is coming out because they're forking it and changing the code slightly. So I would think this is a really nice looking front site. So Pipe Drive, I've got it up right now. I just stuck it in there so you can bring it up yourself and look at it. Jonathan, I don't want anybody to do things for me. I want to just fair break I don't know. Let's see what this is. I don't want or need anybody to do things for me, Bill. I want just a fair break in opportunities. Oh, he's talking about politics.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Well,
that's
they were libertarian. That's what a libertarian thinks. We don't want the government to solve all our problems because they can take away all you have to do is look at Mussolini in Italy. He destroyed the country. I mean, that's a good case study. It's a socialist strongman who took over. And Hitler.
I don't know if he's libertarian, though, because there is no justice with libertarians, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, what's that mean? Go ahead. That's good. This is a good.
Well, because, the libertarian is.
Hey, would you come on Meet the Voter this week?
Do whatever you want to do. And if you step on somebody else's toes, there's no political justice. I mean, here's, for instance, one of my friends put up.
We got to stay on the CRM topic, but go ahead real fast.
Okay, so he put up a great big light to light up his farm, but the light was shining in his neighbor's, glass door to their living room. And they came over and complained to him about it. And he said, well, I have the freedom to do that, so I'm going to do it. See, that's libertarians. They want there's no law, no justice, no homeowners associations, no community support, so it's just.
Yeah, we'll talk about, you know what? I'm going to have you come up. Let's talk about that Sunday night. I want you to come up Sunday night. Okay. Because you're going to by Sunday night, we'll get your light right. You look good now. You sound good. We'll have you up. Can you come up Sunday night, 6:00, someone there, 5:30?
Yeah.
You'll be in, and we'll tell everybody, the group, to come on up. I think they started getting it with that Blab yesterday. So I just put up a change. I said, we're looking at Pipe Drive CRM. I'd love to have someone that knows something about Pipe Drive come up and explain it to us. Anybody? Yeah,
I got to learn this. I want to learn this podcast. This is fantastic.
We're learning right now. We're learning what you want to learn about running an online business.
Yeah.
We'll stay on for another half hour and figure this. I'm using Infusionsoft. I don't know if I'm nuts using Infusionsoft. Do I stick with Infusionsoft? That's what the question is. Should I stay with Infusionsoft? Should I stick with, I like this. I'm looking at this. I wish I could get somebody to talk. So should I, it's a good one. Should I, watch this. I'm changing the topic. Should I stay with Infusion? I should have put Infusionsoft first. SOFT. I just changed it. Should I stay? And that didn't work. Infusionsoft.
Well, I wouldn't know. I hope there's somebody that knows the answer to that, because I have no clue.
Time to quit. Quit. I didn't put a topic on. So hit down below. You see topic, that little side thing. You can change stuff. I'm going to make you a host, by the way.
Where?
I'm going to hit your name. I'm going to hit the little H and make you a host. So you're going to get some things. Do you use Gmail? I forgot.
Yeah, I do.
You should set up a Gmail so all your blabs go into one folder and you keep them. And this would.
Yeah, I saw that on yours last night.
So topic, Infusionsoft. Should I quit? I want people to come up and talk about their CM. I want people to come up and talk about what CRM they use because I want to learn from them. Infusionsoft, should I quit? And the next topic I'm going to put is tell us about your CRM. Tell us.
No, what do you do? Are you tweeting that out?
I can. What I'm doing right now, I think I will. I'm lining up like new topics. See, the topic is changing up there. Infusionsoft, should I quit?
Yeah.
I use Infusionsoft, very expensive. And I want people to come up. I have this pipe drive. I wish somebody would come up and talk about pipe drive, like the owners or something. See, people, there's people.
But what is it?
It's a CRM. Let me see. It says, sign up, start a free trial. Let me put it in here again. And I'm going to change the topic one more time here. Tell us about your CRM. So let me tell you about Infusionsoft. I got into Infusionsoft because all the big guys use Infusionsoft. I had Aweber. I should have stuck with Aweber until I built up at least 1,000 or 3,000 people. I use MailChimp for some of the nonprofits that I work with. So Aweber is a great place to start. Then I jumped to Infusionsoft, very expensive. And some of the things I think I did wrong is I used Infusionsoft. I'm going to get rid of this, by the way. I'm going to take me out of here. I'm going to go ahead and shut that down. But I used Infusionsoft, and I paid a lot of money for it. I paid $200. I'm on the low end, so I pay $220. Plus, I have another add-on. I pay $50. So I pay almost $300 a month for Infusionsoft. So you have to be making a lot of money online to pay for that. So, and so far, I'm going to give it every month. I said I'm going to give it another month, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm month to month on Infusionsoft right now, and I think if you use Infusionsoft, you can use it. Just shut the door because we're finished the podcast. So you can do it. Just shut the door. My sister's visiting. So Infusionsoft, but this pipe drive looks interesting. The problem is you want to make sure whatever you get that they're going to stay in business and that they work. Here's the pricing of pipe drive. Let me look at the pricing. So let me make it easy. $12 per month. No contacts, no accounting, no limits, no hidden fees. What? How could they do this for $12 a month?
For how many contacts?
I don't know. It says no contracts, no account limits, no hidden fees, no charges for phones, email support, no charge for API key, no credit card required for 30 days. So you could start this, paste. Jonathan likes this other one is Grip. This is crazy, this pipe drive. You got to say though, can they support it? How do they make money? On support hours are from 11 p.m. to 5 p.m. time, Reno. 11 p.m. to 5 p.m. Wow, that's weird. It must be overseas. You hear my killer labs out there. We got 2 labs in the house. They're almost 5 months. So that looks like you know what? If you're just experimenting with stuff, like you could take this, play with it, and sort of give me a report back on this, after the show. So you can sign in, set up pipe drive. Hey, quick question, Craig. Do you use LastPass?
Use what?
I got to get you up on LastPass right away.
LastPass?
LastPass, yeah.
Never heard of it.
If you're in this business, you got to have a password management system.
Oh, yeah.
So LastPass, this would be a good one to put up on LastPass. Do you use a password management system?
No. Well, yeah, Julie does. Julie actually has one's called, it's got a great big M.
LastPass is free. Then it's $12 for the, when you can put it on your smart, for your more advanced, but $12. You use the free account initially to learn how to use it. It's really wonderful. I think LinkedIn owns it now, but it's excellent. It's the best thing I have. So anyway, we're looking here. Here's a question from Jonathan. I'm going to put the question up. What do you mean by CRM? Oh, CRM. Does it say CMS? CRM. CRM. Contact management. Oh, I am CM. I'm doing it. Let me fix this. Oh, it's CMS, contact management system. I just typed it wrong. Topic. So I'm going to go to topic. Tell us about your contact management systems, CMS. No, CRM. CRM starts with something else. CMS. Okay. Did you opened up another blab, I think, Craig?
Another one, no.
Because we had a little bit of feedback. I don't know where it came from. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate that. So out there, anybody want to come up and tell us what they like? I just found this one, which is the pipe. This pipe drive. It really looks interesting. It's $12 a month. It says it's free to start out with, and as long as you back up your email addresses, you can always switch to another company. The features. Let's see what's in the features. The features are have a clear overview of your sales pipeline. With Pipeline, it looks really nice. The interface looks nice, and their website runs very well. With Pipeline, you'll always have a good overview of your sales pipeline. This truly effective sales method has been built into the software, which is why sales pros and dealers love it. And it has integration. So timeline review, sales reports, customer events, mobile apps, reliability, Google Apps integration. I like that. Google Apps integration. I've been looking at something that can tie your Google address to get two-way sync with Google Calendar. That is nice. I pay for that right now. Big bucks to do that. This looks really nice. This pipe drive looks really nice. Google Drive integration. Yep. And it probably is fast if it uses Google. Google Map integration, powerful API. You can make the pipeline drive so pretty and much anything with the API. Excellent for making sales calls, developing, still have market, easily connect to pipeline. Zapier, REST API. I'm trying to look at how they manage email on here though. Simple data import and integration. Integration Google Apps, Yesware, MailChimp, Zapier, PandaDocs, Google Maps, Pipeline Outlooks. I'm looking for how would they integrate in with a cart or into Stripes. I don't see that right now. I'm surprised that's not up at the top. Drip. Wow, there's a lot of stuff it integrates with. But I'd have to look. I think we look at that. That'd be good to review that sometime, that pipeline. LastPass. If you're going to do this, Craig, LastPass link here. I can walk you through this, your first LastPass stuff on Zoom, but I'm a strong supporter of LastPass. It's free. And what you do is you initially sign up, just sign up things like this. It's a really good app. You should install it. I can show you how to get around it. That's one of my favorite things to use. So anyone have other contact management systems, CMS?
Is that an extension for Chrome?
There is one. They do have an extension for Chrome. Yep, that's part of it. It is really, really nice. They also have it for other platforms too.
Free password
management systems. So contact management system software enables the user to store and find information, names, addresses, and you want to gather information too. So
I thought Chrome had a, well, this is.
No, LastPass is really nice because you can go PC or Mac back and forth. You can put notes that are protected on LastPass. I mean, I use it for everything. I use LastPass a lot. By the way, on your site, the plugins you have Contact Form 7. You've got Ultimate Social Media Share Icons and Lightbox Plus. You've probably a couple extra plugins.
Too many, my wife says. But
too many. How many plugins do you have?
I don't know. Let's see.
We're having this whole month on WP Tonic. The whole month is about design and style.
Really?
So tomorrow, Jonathan and I are going to come up. I need to talk to Jonathan ahead of time. I think it's just going to be him and me. Oh, tomorrow's the real estate show. So Thursday's real estate. But Saturday, what we do at 9:00 is we're doing a show on WP Tonic and timelines, and produced by Timelines. It's actually WP Tonic is the main show because we have an RSS feed, but we're going to put it in two different places. That show has been number 2 on iTunes for WordPress. And what we're going to talk about this whole month is designing your website. And I'll probably break down and buy some design tools this month.
That would be awesome. Okay, so I want to be on that.
Yeah, we'll set you up on Genesis. Let me get you set up on Genesis. I can't, maybe this afternoon tomorrow or something. We can set some time. We'll come up on Zoom. Ever use Zoom? And we'll set you up with Genesis. We'll install Genesis on your HostGator. And
okay.
Do you know how to install WordPress on HostGator?
Yes, with a quick install.
So if you would set up just the basic 2.16 ahead of time, and then we'll go in there and I'll help you get Genesis and some other toys in there to set up.
What do you mean by that? Set up the 2.16. What is that?
2.16 is the theme. It's the basic theme that comes with it right now on WordPress.
Okay.
You should come down to the WordPress. There's a WordPress meetup once a month in the Collective down in Arlington.
Yeah, I've been there once or twice.
Yeah, it's good to go to that. It's good to meet people. I go there almost every time. I'm always
good. Yeah, I'll meet you there. Was it on Mondays?
No, it's varies around the 9th or 10th each month. You have to look at it and meet up. So it's
I get an email for it. Yeah.
So, Bill, it's about graphics and using graphics for online marketing. Yeah, here's the topic for the month. It's about graphics and using graphics for online marketing. So that's how you integrate graphics into your websites and make them look good. It's graphics design. In website planning and building, you have different people that do different things. When you really get up there, you have a graphic designer, and you sort of let your graphic designer come up with themes and ideas. You can't do it all. You have a copyright who's checking your websites to make sure your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted.
When is that on again? When's that?
That's going to be Saturday morning at 9:00. And you can come up afterward and ask questions. We'll get some really good WordPress people from around the country will show up. It may be just Jonathan and I initially, but other people will come in. And I'm going to probably buy, I think styling the WordPress site too. I'm going to buy another tool. And I'm actually doing a deep dive. Let me look at my notes. I'll drop my notes in right now. Jonathan, have you created any notes? I've got some notes already. So let me put design in here. DESIGN. Design. Web. I call it web graphics. So I'm going to make sure I copy in Jonathan's verbiage here. Graphics and use of graphics online for marketing. That's really, really a good topic. So let me paste this in here.
Do you have some of these shows recorded already this Saturday?
They're all yeah, you can go back on WP Tonic. I'll send you a link, WP Tonic. Look, we got somebody from France just came in. Hey, welcome, France. Nice to see your flag. And that's Guy. Hey, Guy, welcome. Are you? I take it you're over from France with that flag. I'll follow you. And yeah, it looks good. So anyway, yeah, WP Tonic. Let me drop that in here. It's WP-tonic.com. That's the general website. That's Jonathan's website, one of them. And we have the show. It's 50/50 on the show. And the podcast, you can find the podcast too. Now I've got an automatic player. I need to put an automatic player in for WP Tonic so you can just go right to it and play it. But if you go on your iPhone and just type in WP-Tonic or WP Tonic, you'll find it on the podcast. And you can go back and look through the old episodes. There's 79 episodes now. So it's a good show. So CRM, we're not getting too many people in the CRM. Darn it. How do I say darn it? Let's see. What should I say? Automated email. Help me with automated email. AUTOM. I'm going to change the topic. So we're going to change the topic again. We're going to go to automated email. Hoping somebody would come up and tell us about their CRM. Best practices. Oh, my spelling's not too good. See if that's right. Automated email best practices. I spelled practices wrong. I can't even see it. Let me do this again. So it's hard to see down here. AUTOMATED email. Best tools. Automated email, best tools. So what are the best tools for automated email? Let's see, we lost folks. It's funny. Yesterday I had a lot of people come in, and today I've only had 45 come through. So I'm going to have to stop in a little bit, but Craig, you look pretty good now. If you just play around with light and do I have your phone number? Send me an email. Just send me an email.
I don't think so.
My email is this. Let me put my email in here. I got yours last night.
Yeah. Want me to put my email, my phone number right here?
It's public if it's going to be there.
Well, your public's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm like you. I don't try to hide my phone number. Fine. Just drop that in. So, hey, Jonathan, we're going to probably finish it up here. I'm going to go and edit my show right now. I'll give you a call. So, Jonathan, we have real estate tomorrow real fast, so we don't have to meeting. So we're going to have, it's Craig. Craig will be up tomorrow with us for the real estate show, joint show, and we'll bring folks in. I want to try to get my real estate list up more so I can blast out to real estate people to listen. Just so I want to do a political list, different lists. So tomorrow we can get more people coming in. So the main thing we need to do, Jonathan, we need to build our email lists up better. So we're blasting out to people. Because when I blast a list, I didn't blast today, but when I blast a list, we get a lot more people reminding them to come in. So what I'd like to do with the group last night, I don't know if you have contact, Craig. What I'd like to do is get their email, put them in Infusionsoft, and then send them an email to ask them to opt in, to have permission to send them an email, and explain to them it's a good thing to do, and talk to them, and then not abuse it, and then just use it inch by inch as a cinch. Because I'm not getting anywhere with the Republican Party nor the Men's Club trying to get my information out on trying to teach people how to communicate with the clients.
I think this group, I know there's several people that really open it.
I felt a lot more open last night. I've had Richard on my show, and I trained him a little bit. He's got a mic. He's come on. If you look at timelines, he's done a timeline with me. So he's not well right now, I don't think. Richard Feinberg. He's got cancer.
Yeah.
And also plan on coming on. We'll work on your stuff so you look good, but planning coming up Saturday night on Meet the Voter. It's politics. I'll have you come on second hour, and we'll come up a little bit, and eventually I'll have you come on first hour when we do the podcast.
That's what? Saturday morning?
Saturday night at 6 o'clock. 5:30.
Oh, Sunday night at 6.
Yeah, I mean, it's Saturday. Sunday night at 6. Meet the Voter, meetthevoter.com. Let me drop this in here. It's really easy to remember. I need to get my notes up. Meet the Voter. Here's the show. Look at this. By the way, paste Meet the Voter right there. I'm trying to get one person from the right, one person from the left, and just do 3 people with me as the moderator for the first 2 episodes, first 20 minutes. So I need somebody from right, someone from left. And right now, I don't have anybody from the right for Saturday night. I'm for Sunday night. So if you know some other people who can speak well, who are politicians who come across well too, I like to test people before they do it.
Yeah.
And I should be able to find somebody from Northern Nevada who would speak up. Got to go to Texas to find a conservative.
I think Joanna. Joanna would be good. She reads a lot.
Well, go get up. Now you can go and teach her how to use Blab. Start teaching people how to use Blab. Just play. It's not hard. Just teach them. Get them to sign up.
Well, play with it. Yeah. Well, I mean, what?
And then come up after, like at 10 o'clock, and come up and we can play with it like we're doing now. So here's your last little course with Blab.
I wouldn't know how to get started. How do I even start a?
Okay, let me tell you real fast how to do it. We're going to shut here, and you're going to do a Blab. Here's what I want you to do. We're going to do a double thing. I'm going to turn off the recording. Actually, I'm going to stick it on. First of all, here's a quick course on Blab, 2-second course on Blab. So when you come to Blab initially, sometimes when you put Blab IM, it doesn't always come up because of the server. So you have to HTTPS.
Okay, let's see. So how do I even log in to
Okay, let me tell you real fast. First of all, when you come to a Blab initially, whoever's out there, you want to sign up for Blab. All you're going to do is use your Twitter account to sign up. Use your Twitter domain name. Like your Twitter is, was it Taxi?
Yeah.
What's Takester?
It's a it's just to take off on my website. TAIX is the American.
And that's your son
Exchange.
right there, right, with you? Is that your son? In the picture on Twitter?
That's my wife.
Your wife, there's a boy in the middle. Is there a boy? Yeah, a boy in the middle. ROTC.
I don't know what
I'm looking at Twitter.
Where is that?
Because let me show you what you can do. Here's another trick. Do me a favor. Go to my name over here. Start here. Click my name. Click it. Just click it. Click right underneath it. Click the podcaster's home.
The podcaster's home.
Or you can click my name or podcaster's
right there.
home. Click that. And notice what comes up. Go hit the little bird down below. This is powerful. Underneath, hit the bird.
Hold on. I have so many tabs open here.
Close them all up. I'll close them all up except Blab.
Yeah.
And I'm going to teach you us how to start a podcast, how to start a Blab. Topic, new topic. I got to change the topic back. How I'm wanting people one person at a time right now. And here's the other thing. You notice I have my wife there. I need people to interview here locally who are interesting. I can send her out with the microphone and my laptop. If you want to borrow my microphone too. Let's send her over.
Okay, what tab?
Okay, close all your tabs. Just looking at us. Okay. Go ahead and just hit my name. Just hit either my name or my block right in the middle. It'll highlight. Just click it. Tell me when you click it.
Got to find the
okay, notice what comes up is there's a little block with my face.
It says mail to BillConradTeam.com. No, that's
okay. When you click it, it's going to come up 158 days on Blab, Bill Conrad Wizard, Podcaster's Home.
Wait, so if I go to bill@conradteam.com,
no, just go back to Blab. Just right above my head here. There's a thing. It's a little circle with me, and it says 8.
Podcaster's Home.
Just click Bill Conrad Wizard or the podcast. Click that. Now, what do you see? You're going to see 158 days.
A pop-up. Yeah,
that's how long I've been on Blab. And it says developer and creator of Netcasting 101, Timelines, Netcast.com, and Podcaster's Home. So go ahead and click that little bird underneath. And see, I'm following way too many people.
Yeah, the Twitter.
See what happens?
Twitter. Mm-hmm. Twitter Podcaster's Home.
Yeah, so now you're on my original Podcaster's Home Twitter site.
On your Twitter site.
And then you go down through there, you can see me down there too. In the podcast.
There's some recorded.
Yeah, you can see stuff down there. And so go back to your Blab site now. So that's how you get to Twitter back and forth. Go back to Blab. Now I'm going to look at your site. I'm going to do the same thing. So you've been on 0 days. This is your first day on Blab. It says Julie and I are family of 29 years plus thousands of associates are creating legacies of faith, hope, freedom, and God, and freedom enterprise. So
that was my Twitter.
So Twitter is a really powerful tool. You can communicate and talk. A lot of the high-end people I contact them through Twitter, invite them on the show. So anyway, you're training people. Just play with this thing. Now, let's say you want to start a Blab. So you've signed in. You just go up on the right-hand side and you say start a Blab. You ever use Zoom? Let me get up on Zoom with you right now. This is another tool. This is how I train people. So we're going to go up on Zoom. I only have about 15 more minutes, and I got to go to editing. So before we sign off, we're going to go up on Zoom together. I like to do this. So I'm going to talk you through getting on Zoom as soon as I find my Zoom. So I'm opening up a Zoom right now, and I'm going to start a video Zoom. I just started it, and there's a lot of ways I can do this. I can give you the code, but for the first Zoom, I'm actually going to I'm going to copy this URL. I'm going to drop it down here to the right. I'm going to paste it. And I want you to click that right now and tell me what happens. I'm also going to send you a link.
Okay. So click Zoom right here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Launch Zoom. Your download should start automatically in a few seconds.
Hey, eventually I have to monetize what I'm doing. With you, it's, since you're an early adapter, I'm just doing this to get the word out there. I think I could help candidates a lot. Getting their systems organized. I've run for office a lot. Like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and put my name on the ballot. I'm so torqued off right now.
So I have to open.
Go ahead and click it. Tell me what happens. Just talk me through what you're seeing.
Okay, so I got this. F-Secure wants to know if I
go ahead. It's safe. Zoom is an amazing tool. Every candidate should be using it. While you do that, I'm going to get some coffee. Hey, by the way, since I'm going to give you a free everything on my courses as I build them. Since you're the first person who is a Republican who's adapted to this. So frustrating. I used to go to the Toastmasters here. That was ridiculous. You talk about a group of people that know anything, but they didn't care about new communications, new processes like this.
No, it's crazy.
I'd like to start like an online Toastmasters, like this environment, a Zoom online, and we come and meet online. I think it'd be so neat instead of going places. Give your speech online. Yeah. So what's it telling you to do? Just install it. You got a PC, right?
Yeah. Let's see. A download should start automatically in a few seconds. I thought it already did it.
Just do it. You might have to stay on this. Let's see if we're getting anything here. So Jonathan booked off. While we do that, see your props. I want to bring you up. I want to bring you up to bring each other up to 1,000 props. Not yet. And that meant I thought 700 props. I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording right now. Hey, folks, I'm about to close out Craig. He's on Zoom. So I will talk to you on the phone. Stay on Zoom. Okay. I'm with Craig right now, and he can hear me on Zoom, but he doesn't have the audio up. So we're going to have to work on this a little bit. Hey, folks, thank you for tuning in today. This has been a long recording on YouTube. You can find us at timelinesofsuccess.com or netcasting101.com. And my phone number, if you ever need to call me, is 775-233-8065. Thank you for coming in today. I appreciate the 45 people who came through and those who participated on Zoom.